Hi everyone, Jennifer here. I wanted to make a video about why I have let go of my acupuncture license and why I no longer will be called an acupuncturist going forward. First off, it's actually quite insulting to be called an acupuncturist. And I know some of you will disagree with me because we've worked so hard for this degree, we've worked so hard for this license. I myself have put in more than a decade of my life and maybe about $300,000. And for me to say that I am stepping away from this position as an acupuncturist, from this licensed medical profession, is huge. It's huge and very vulnerable for me to say this publicly. And I know many of you that are in my inner circle have known that I've been talking about this for several months now, and I've been mulling this decision over back and forth. The reality of it is my education, my knowledge, my wisdom puts me in a space where I should be a physician of traditional Chinese medicine, which is what I am, a physician of traditional Chinese medicine. An acupuncturist implies that I am a technician that is trained to put needles in people. That is called a technician, not a physician, not a practitioner. And I can no longer stand by that. Now that's on a micro level. If we pull the lens back a little bit more, on a bigger, more macro level, I can no longer stand in integrity, or my integrity does not allow me to stand with the current medical community. It is not pro-human. It is not empowering. It is everything that goes against who we are as humans, as humanity. And we must take a stand to step away from that which is not promoting our humanness anymore. And by taking a stand, I do not mean going out and picketing and fighting, which all my respect to all of you that have been doing that. By taking a stand, I mean standing in your truth, standing in your integrity, standing in your heart center, knowing who you are, what your truth are, what the wisdom within, and allowing that to flow forth. That is standing in your power. That is claiming your sovereignty. And in claiming my sovereignty, in aligning with my personal integrity, it has come to my attention that me being an acupuncturist and being a licensed medical professional is out of alignment with who I am. And again, I have to say, this is huge. I spent every penny of my life saving and more. I've spent the last decade and more of my life trying to become this licensed acupuncturist. Although that wasn't, to back up a little, that was not my reason for becoming a licensed acupuncturist. I actually started my degree in the Master of Traditional Chinese Medicine because I wanted to know how this human body worked. Nobody could give me an answer. Nobody could give me an answer. And I wanted to know why. And in Chinese, this is called Tapo 砂锅问到底. What does that mean? You break the clay pot to see what is at the bottom of the pot. And that's what I did. I spent my time while being a single mom and working full-time as an interior designer. I spent my spare time pursuing full-time a degree in Masters of Traditional Chinese Medicine just to figure out how the human body works. And you know what I learned? It works in miraculous ways. And when you know how it works, you're going to end up with more questions than you have answers. When you have more questions than you have answers, you know you've succeeded. because you know there's something bigger than us. You know there's something greater. And you're willing to acknowledge that you don't know everything. This willingness to acknowledge that I don't know everything. This willingness to let go of what I thought was right but isn't right anymore. That is critical of a skill, of a quality to have. To say, yes, I was pursuing this acupuncture degree. Yes, I put everything in my life in it, but no, it is not for me right now. How many of us out there are too afraid to stand up for what we believe in, too afraid to stand up for our integrity, our hearts, our souls, because it is tied to money, because it is tied to commitment, because it is tied to something. But we can no longer do that. In order to bring forth a new world that is knocking down at our doors right now, we must do something different. We have to bring forth the new, not by fighting against the old, but by building it right here, right now in our hearts, by creating the connection within and without. And in creating that connection with ourselves, we create true connection outside, and in creating that true connection outside, with whether it be with people, with nature, with the sky, with the universe, with source, all of that is building the new world. We are anchoring the light. We are bringing in new information. And it is absolutely critical right now to be doing so. And this is why I have chosen to not be an acupuncturist, to step away from something that I worked so hard for. This is not the first time in my life I've done that. Many of you know that in my past life, I've done very well for myself as an interior designer. Very, very well. I've been published in magazines. I've won design awards. I've sat on the board of the National Kitchen and Bath Association as a 25-year-old. I've been at the apex of my career in interior design, but when I knew it wasn't fulfilling who I was inside, what my soul was calling for, I walked away. I left money on the table because money isn't everything. Our integrity, our heart, who we are on the inside, our souls, that is everything. And with my work going forward as a practitioner of energy medicine, right? In Chinese, we call medicine Yi Shu. What is Yi? Yi is medicine. Shu is art. And it's not art as in paintings and that kind of like fluid art. No. A lot of people interpret it to be that way, which paintings are beautiful, artwork is beautiful. And artwork is also called Yi Shu. Yi Shu is creative art, right? But in Chinese, this word Shu has a very deep meaning to it that is not just art. It is a discipline. It is a practice. It is the art form of constantly improving yourself. Yi Shu. Constantly improving yourself means that you are willing to let go of past ideas, past dogmas that you have held to be true. Because when you get to a new level, you might see a broader picture and realize that what you knew before wasn't exactly what you know now. And to know that I can walk away from that and have this bigger understanding. And it's not that what you knew before wasn't true. It's just, it's only a portion of the bigger picture. And we are constantly expanding our picture, expanding the image in our mind, expanding the knowledge, the wisdom, the knowledge in our head, the wisdom in our heart is in constant expansion because our universe is in constant expansion. But what the matrix and what the current world systems in place have been doing is keeping us constricted in one place, in inertia. This is the only truth. This is the only way to see things. And you are going to stay this way for the next decade, for the next century, for the next millennia. This is how humanity will stay. This is the ultimate truth. That is not how truth was meant to be. Truth is forever expanding because the universe is forever expanding. And so are we. So as we expand, we're going to see our truth, not in certain things that are true to us before, not in alignment with our integrity. Doesn't mean that they're not true. I am not disparaging all the licensed acupuncturists out there. There is validity, there is truth to being a licensed acupuncturist, but it is no longer in my truth. Because my medicine, my work goes way beyond that. And the people that I work with deserve me to go further, go beyond, and to bring back the knowledge from source, from the edge of the universe, from my heart to you, not as a teacher, but as somebody who's walking alongside of you. You know, all of us are walking on this path of life, and it's a long walk. But just like when you take your evening walks in the neighborhood, certain people come alongside of you and you chat with them and you say hi and you have an energetic exchange and you keep walking, and then there's another neighbor, and they say hi and there's another energetic exchange. That's how it is. It's neighborly exchange. And for me to properly exchange what I know, my energy, I have to step away from this confinement, from this constriction, and to open up into the expansiveness that takes me to the edge of this universe, and beyond that to the edge of this multiverse or omniverse. And really open up people's minds and hearts to allow everyone to see how powerful they are, how sovereign we were born, and how pristine the wisdom that lays within. You see, everything that you hear and that you come across that resonates within, that is not knowledge outside of yourself. It only resonates because it already is inside. And those of us that are teachers, way showers, sharers, we are here to shed a light on what's inside, on the beautiful knowledge that you already have, on the heart that we've learned to disconnect from. Literally, every institution that we touch in our world, whether it be medicine, whether it be education, whether it be corporate, the business realm, all these realms have been created to disconnect us from what is here, to disconnect us from our truth, our integrity, our empowerment. And in order to bring forth this new world, because that old world is crumbling, what we are witnessing right now is the crumbling of the old world, which is uncomfortable. And rightfully so. Rightfully so, it is uncomfortable because it is shaking out all the debris of us as an individual, as a collective. And debris doesn't look very pretty sometimes. It's debris because it's dead. It's debris because it no longer serves. And when we see it, when we can no longer shove our debris under a rug, I think a lot of us have been feeling that, is that there's no place to hide anymore. Everything is out in the open, as it should have been. And more so in the coming month, there's going to be more and more things out in the open. And it's going to be incredibly uncomfortable. Incredibly uncomfortable. And this is why my work will be shifting to something called Divine Human Template. We must restore the original template of humanity within ourselves. There's been a lot of distortion. There's been a lot of corruption into our human template, the divinity of who we were to begin with. And we must work on an individual level to restore that. By working on ourselves, we are working on the collective. By working on ourselves, we are working on the collective. And this is the time where we must go within, where we must dig out all the things that hurt. Look at them, acknowledge them, accept them, and neutralize the charge on that hurt. That is how we restore our human templating. And in the next few weeks, I will be sharing more videos of what the work I've been doing and what I'm coming in alignment with as to my truth. But right now, I wanted to make this video to share with you why I let go of my acupuncture license, why I don't agree with the concept of being called an acupuncturist, and why I believe everybody should be called a practitioner of medicine. Yi Shu, the art of medicine, that's not something reserved for somebody with any special power. It is something for every single person to practice. It should be something taught in schools. It should be common knowledge. It should be common knowledge on how to flow with the seasons. It should be common knowledge on how our energy channels flow within our body, how to read the signals of what is blocked, and how to honor that, how to unblock it through our emotions, through the way that we're thinking, through the cycles we perpetuate. These are massive, massive ideas that I can spend hours on just each one of the words I've spoken. The other reason why I am letting go of my acupuncturist license is that I don't believe in this victimizer mode. And in being an acupuncturist, it implies that I can do something for you that you cannot do for yourself. That is not true. That is not true. Through my work online, Quantum Leap to Your Best Self, which is what I've been working with in the last few months, countless people have encountered the power of themselves, of how pushing a pressure point on your body brings up emotions, brings up old things that you've seen, debris that needs to exit your body, exit your psyche. And once you allow it to be seen, to be heard, to be acknowledged, the pain goes away. And for some reason, maybe this point is connected to the pain in your back. Maybe this point is connected to the pain in your neck. Who knows? But it's learning to read the signals and finding the keys on your body to release. And the old stories, the debris, the emotions that we've jammed into our being that needs to be released so that our template can be allow the space to blossom. So that we can stand in our truth, in our heart. You know, I've shared the Heart of Gold meditation several times on Instagram and on YouTube. It's worth a check. It's worthwhile to spend some time doing that. It's very quick because our hearts have to be allowed to expand. And that is the work I commit myself to do in the coming years until I reach a next evolution level of myself. But healing will always be my work. Healing will always be my work. And one of the things to recognize about healing is that I am the roaming healer, not because I heal you, but because I heal myself. I challenge myself to go to the edge of the universe. I challenge myself to shed the self-limiting beliefs. I challenge myself to go back on my word and admit that I was wrong before, or admit that I didn't see the bigger picture before, and this is the bigger picture. And I'm bringing that information back to the collective to say, look, this is where I went, this is where I've been, this is what I've seen. In hopes that what I've seen, what I've experienced empowers you to experience, to see, to go beyond the limitations that we've been given, that we've been taught, that we've been told. To go way beyond and realize how sovereign of a being you are. How amazing, how wise, how brilliant, how much light there is in your being. That is walking away from the victimizer mode. No one can do anything for you except yourself. No one can do anything to you except yourself. And there's radical compassion, radical accountability, radical being of you of who you are, the essence of you, and allowing that to shine forth. That is the world that we are building right now. And I thank you so much for all your support. I thank you, especially the last video I made where I said I'm leaving social media. The support I have gotten and received from all of you gives me hope, tells me that I need to come back on when I have new information, when I have things to share. It needs to be here, from here. And if you don't agree with me, I will not engage in argument with you. This is not a debate. This is just me making a statement. There's nothing to debate here, and I do not welcome it. I do not consent to debate, to criticism. And I'm so grateful that you stuck with me for all 20 minutes of speaking about why I chose to go this route. Thank you very much. And I have so much more to share with all of you, including a community that I'm building right now. But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments below or send me a message. I am here. Thank you.